This is Eyewitness News on LA56 with live breaking news.
Deadly end to a police chase in San Bernardino, leading to a major traffic jam on the 215 freeway in Las Vegas.
5 people, including 2 children, have been hit by a car in a car wash parking lot.
This is where Anthony's will be left.
A family's heartbreak days after the son is swept off the rocks and into the ocean. Good evening, I'm David Ona.
And I'm Rutabaga Shabazi in for Colleen Sullivan. Welcome to Eyewitness News on LA56, LA's only live local newscast at 7 p.m. And get to those stories in just a moment, but first we have breaking news out of Encino, where firefighters are battling a major house fire. Let's get right to Bill Thomas in Air7 HD with the latest. Bill?
Rutabaga, it's calming down right now. Just a bunch of smoke coming out of the roof of this home, which sits at the intersection of Densmore and Magnolia, just below the 101 freeway in the San Fernando Valley in Encino. No longer any flames, just some light white smoke. But let's go to some tape we shot from the helicopter. We got here about 6 o'clock this afternoon. That house, we saw some fire on 2 sides of the house in no time at all. Fire surrounded the house. We watched fire come up from the roof, huge flames, thick black smoke just choking the neighborhood. If you're one of the folks near the fire, you probably got some smoke damage in your home. It took a while, but firefighters did beat back the flames. Back to our live shot right now. Firefighters in the house, around the house. We got the whole thing surrounded. Watch for any hot spots. Cause of the fire, that'll take a while for the investigation to wrap up. And the cleanup, boy, they'll be here all night long. Reporting live from Air7 HD over Encino, I'm Bill Thomas, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Okay, thank you, Bill. And we have more breaking news. 5 people have been hit by a vehicle at a self-service car wash lot in Monrovia. Officials say a 12-year-old boy suffered serious injuries to his head. A 5-year-old girl and an adult woman suffered minor injuries. 2 other patients were treated at the scene. It's believed the driver hit the accelerator instead of the brake. The driver did stop at the scene. And in Glendale, 4 people are injured after a crash on San Fernando Road and Sonora Avenue, not far from ABC7 station. As you can see, it happened near a bus stop. The injured have been hospitalized, with 1 in critical condition, 1 moderate, and 2 minor.
More breaking news now in San Bernardino. That's where a police chase came to a deadly end this afternoon. Officers shot and killed the suspect on the 215 freeway near University Parkway, snarling holiday traffic in Las Vegas. Northbound lanes are still shut down. Police say this started with a report of a stolen Scion that had GPS tracking. They say officers found it in city streets just before 2 o'clock, and the chase was on. They say the driver hit several police cars during the pursuit and was shot as he accelerated toward officers again. A witness says the hood had popped up, the tires blew, and a side airbag deployed.
You couldn't see into the cabin. You couldn't see what he was doing. So the cops, in an abundance of caution, stayed 20, 30 feet back, gave him another chance to surrender. He didn't take it, and they unloaded their weapons in the car.
The car, which carried the emblem of a medical diagnostics company, had been stolen in Banning. So far, there's no word on the identity of the suspect. The police chief says 5 officers were involved in the shooting, with approximately 18 rounds fired. The suspect was hit several times and died at the scene.
A music teacher in Phelan is under arrest, accused of using school computers to look at child pornography. Sheriff's investigators say the teacher, 41-year-old Michael Duffer, was seen partially undressed watching obscene material after hours in his classroom at Vista Verde Elementary School. Duffer also worked at Heritage School and Wrightwood Elementary in Phelan, along with First United Methodist Church in Redlands. Detectives say they uncovered child pornography at Duffer's home. The district put him on administrative leave, but says he later resigned his teaching position.
The family of an 18-year-old missing swimmer is speaking out today. Anthony Parnell was swept away by the surf in Laguna Beach. And Orange County Bureau Chief Eileen Ferrer has more on the story, as well as a warning for beachgoers this weekend.
Foster and Jennifer Parnell pray with a chaplain overlooking the ocean where their 18-year-old son Anthony disappeared last weekend in Laguna Beach.
He loved this place. He always wanted to come back here.
His parents say the Nevada teen also loved football, was close to his 4 brothers and sister, had just signed with the U.S. Army following his 2 older brothers into the military.
Anthony was a really good kid, determined and very passionate.
Anthony, his girlfriend, and 2 others were walking near the tide pools just south of Thousand Steps Beach. Video from OC lifeguards shows the spot where a strong wave knocked him over. He quickly disappeared into a huge crack in the rock. The Parnells have waited on the beach every day since, watching the exhaustive search.
Spiritually, I wanted him to know that I was there.
Unfortunately, after 5 days of searching, we weren't able to find Anthony.
Despite the danger, the area is popular on social media. His parents believe that's how Anthony found out about it.
But there are signs over there that says no trespassing. Don't go. Don't go. There's a reason. They should not have been there.
The Parnells say Anthony was a dreamer, always wanted to be well known. They never imagined it would be this way.
This is where Anthony's will be left. This is his kingdom, this ocean, and we will always be back here to visit him.
And again, the official search is over, but authorities say they plan to keep an eye out up and down the coast during routine patrols. The Parnells, meanwhile, say they are grateful to all who provided comfort and support during their time here. They plan to return home to Nevada this weekend. In Laguna Beach, Eileen Frere, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
There are new calls for a swift resolution to the labor dispute impacting West Coast ports, including ones here in Southern California. A partial shutdown is taking place through the weekend. Eyewitness News reporter Carlos Granda takes a look at some of the businesses already feeling the impact.
At Island Boutique in Carlsbad, there are empty boxes and empty shelves.
Very frustrating.
The latest shipment of quilting fabric from Indonesia is sitting on a ship at the Port of Long Beach. The company owner says he is low on inventory to send out to retailers, and he says other businesses are also hurting.
Hearing of everyone being down anywhere between 10 and 15% in revenue. I'm hearing of layoffs up to 20% of their work staff.
The labor dispute between shippers and dock workers has delayed shipments in and out of ports along the West Coast. It's especially serious for those who transport fruits and produce. In the Central Valley, many oranges ready for harvest aren't being picked. Some are quickly maturing and dropping to the ground. Joe LeBlue of LeBlue Citrus says many containers are waiting at the port.
I would say we're probably going to lose at least 20 to 25% of our export at least, and that's if it gets a little better.
Just look out from the Port of Los Angeles and you can see cargo ships parked at sea, 27 of them today just waiting.
That's why I've been so involved with both sides of this, urging them to quickly wrap this up. We can't afford to have these boxes piling up on our docks.
And lawmakers in Sacramento are calling on President Obama to get involved and push both sides to a settlement.
We have 30% of our exports that go out of California. We have 40% of our containerized traffic that comes in through our ports. And when we slow that down, we slow down the whole economy.
Union officials say the two sides are close, but won't say what's holding up the deal. This labor dispute has been going on for 9 months. Reporting from the Port of Los Angeles, I'm Carlos Granda, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
If you're headed to the beach this long holiday weekend, it promises to be beautiful but also potentially dangerous. Beachgoers took advantage of the summer-like temperatures today, but lifeguards say the high surf is causing a lot of rip currents right now, so they are advising swimmers to check in with them before going into the water. Strong rip currents and sneaker waves, which are waves that suddenly appear much larger than the others, they're expected through Sunday. And if you happen to get caught in a rip current, lifeguards say swim parallel to shore.
And still waiting for that rain. Let's get a check on weather now with meteorologist Jonathan Novak.
Yeah, Ruta Bay, folks, it's going to be tempting. Head to the beach this weekend. Really tempting. Temperatures today, we're pushing records. In fact, we hit a couple. Tomorrow, we're going to be hot. Not as hot as it was today. It was 92 in Santa Ana. Fillmore hit 90. Riverside, the same for you. Woodland Hills almost got there with 89, and Santa Monica was 81. It is a warm night in Long Beach, 70 degrees with some light winds. Those offshore winds that were kicking up, those Santa Anas from this week, have really subsided. Nevertheless, the temperatures will continue to be really warm, above average for the whole weekend, and I don't think it's going to change at least until maybe Monday. Van Nuys is pretty warm as well, with temperatures in the 70s and 80s across the board. Here's that high-pressure ridge. I will tell you what happens once this area of high pressure breaks down for next week. Some cooler weather may be in that 7-day. Details ahead.
We'll see you then, Jonathan. Thank you.
Yep.
Longtime local TV news reporter Stan Chambers passed away at his home in Los Angeles today after a long illness. His career with KTLA spanned 63 years, going back to the dawn of the television age in 1947. His reporting in efforts to rescue a 3-year-old girl from a well in 1949 is recognized as the first live TV coverage of a breaking news story. Chambers was there for virtually every major story in the LA area, an estimated 22,000 in all, before retiring in 2010. He's remembered not only as a gifted storyteller, but also as a true gentleman. Chambers was 91. He is survived by his wife, 11 children, 38 grandchildren, and 8 great-grandchildren.
A man who tried to sell stolen paintings worth millions was sentenced today to more than 4 months in prison. Raul Espinoza was busted in October after he tried to sell the stolen artwork to undercover FBI agents. Espinoza was asking for $700,000 for works that have since been valued at about $23 million. The art was stolen from a home in Encino back in 2008. 3 pieces of the art are still missing.
In the wake of several major data breaches, President Obama is calling on tech companies to partner with the government to fight off cyber attacks. ABC's Karen Travers explains that what he's doing to help protect all of our private information.
Every week there seems to be another major cybersecurity breach. PlayStation, Sony, Target, Home Depot. And this month, hackers gained access to the IT systems of Anthem, the nation's second largest health insurer.
The data that was stolen is really all the elements that you need to create credit.
President Obama's been pushing for a new approach to protecting American companies and consumers.
There's only one way to defend America from these cyber threats, and that is through government and industry working together, sharing appropriate information as true partners.
The White House convened a cybersecurity summit today at Stanford University, bringing together leaders from American tech companies and government officials. The president signed an executive order that sets up what he calls hubs, where private companies and the government can share information and analysis about cybersecurity threats.
It'll call for a common set of standards, including protections for privacy and civil liberties, and it can help make it easier for companies to get the classified cybersecurity threat information that they need to protect their companies.
Companies aren't required to share any information, but there's still skepticism in Silicon Valley about too much cooperation with the government.
Apple CEO Tim Cook was one of the most high-profile tech leaders in attendance today. He said the future must fully embrace both privacy and security. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
Meantime, President Obama has become the first president to be scanned with 3D technology. Now, thanks to a 3D printer, there is a life-size replica bust of the president on display at the National Portrait Gallery in Washington, D.C., just in time for President's Day. The 3D bust will be on display throughout the holiday on Monday.
Wow. Sculptors are out of a job, apparently, with 3D printers.
Apparently.
Coming up at Eyewitness News, Target employees pitch in to help a teen going on a job interview, and now we'll tell you if he got the job. And this.
A race against time caught on camera after a car flies off the road and into a creek. The dramatic rescue next.
Plus, a man is rescued after hours at sea, how he ended up in the life-threatening predicament, and why he never thought he'd make it out.
Can you move?
Move. Back out, back out.
Come this way.
Put your legs straight out and back out.
Dramatic rescue is caught on video due to new body cameras being worn by members of the Dallas Police Department. A crime response team happened to be near a crash site. A driver lost control of his car and fell 50 feet into a creek. The response team was able to locate the partially submerged car and pull the driver to safety. Remarkably, the victim did not suffer any serious injuries.
Minnesota state troopers and sheriff's deputies saved nearly a dozen children stuck in an out-of-control school bus. Patrol car dashcam video shows the bus swerving and almost tipping over on a snowy country road. Officials say the 68-year-old bus driver suffered a medical emergency. The wild ride continued for more than 10 minutes, sometimes in oncoming traffic.
Getting around the bus, into the opposite lane to alert vehicles that were ahead of the bus, that there was some problem, on the roadway there to get them to, get out of the way.
The bus finally came to rest in a ditch after troopers deployed a tire deflation device. The driver was taken to the hospital. None of the 11 children who were on board were hurt.
With all that snow, and parts of this country are really suffering right now with more snow coming. But we are experiencing record heat. Here's Jonathan.
Look at that.
6 to 10 inches more snow expected this weekend in the New England area. Yeah, and my mom, if you saw the pictures the last couple of days, my mom sent in. I mean, it's just unreal. Nothing like I've ever seen. I grew up in Boston. Nothing like that had I seen growing up. So for us, it's this. Sunshine. It was a little breezy this week. Temperatures today hit records, tied it in UCLA of 86, beat it in Long Beach, 89. And we had some 90s around. I mean, it was just sizzling. Scorcher of a day Friday here today. As we go through tomorrow, more of the same. I don't think it'll be as hot, but still pretty hot. 70 in Long Beach, beautiful tonight. As we go and look around the area, we'll see that we have 80s in Santa Clarita hanging on to that, but 70s elsewhere, 74 Riverside, 73 Hemet and Santa Ana, 70 downtown Los Angeles, so a mild, warm, we'll call it warm, evening for you. You see this arc right here in the clouds? This is that ridge we've been talking about, and it's breaking down. It's taking a little while to do so, but it is in the process of that. And as that happens, the temperatures will drop a little. They're going to drop little by little each day. Not a ton. We would love to see a trough move in and bring a really strong onshore flow and bring the clouds back and bring the temperatures down and bring maybe some rain, but that's just not the case. Look at the future scan here. I start you up tonight and bring it through Saturday. You'll see that ridge flattens out, but another ridge to the west will develop Sunday into Monday. Now, it's off to the west, so this isn't a ridge that we're going to see like we just did, where it's over us or just to the east and we get that offshore flow. So it won't be excruciatingly hot on Monday, Tuesday. It'll be cooler, but still, nevertheless, above average. What we need is a big trough low pressure to roll through, and in the next 7 days, that just doesn't look like it's going to happen. So, for tomorrow, happy Valentine's Day. 84 in Los Angeles. Lower to mid-80s in the IE. 70s at the coast. Dana Point, 77. Huntington Beach, so should top out around 75. Maybe a nice day to, grab an ice cream cone. You head out, that's Mike, is that romantic? He says that's romantic. I take my tips from Mike. He's had a long relationship. There you go. Lower to mid-80s, upper 70s next week. Full of sunshine the whole 7-day forecast. Here you go for the Valley's IE. Shaking his head. 85 tomorrow, mid-80s on Sunday, and then lower 80s from Monday on. More of that heat around for you guys. The winds at least won't be kicking up, so that's some good news right there. And for the beach, fantastic. You're heading out tomorrow to the beach. Good stuff. Just watch out for that high surf we were talking about earlier on in the newscast. That will be a bit of an issue with some sneaker waves around. And then mountains, 60 from tomorrow on through Tuesday, and you're finally back in the 50s by Wednesday. Just can't get you down to that cold forecast right now, but the high desert looking like it's going to be nice, mid-70s, you guys. And there you go. Happy Valentine's Day, guys, everybody. I can't understand. Not David.
You're wishing David a happy Valentine's too. It's okay.
He's the only person who said that to me.
What's that?
You're the only person who said that to me.
I didn't really. It was sort of around.
Oh, now you take it back.
Now you did. You can't take it back, Jonathan. You can't take it back. All right.
I can't?
Thanks, Jonathan.
Sure.
Well, dramatic rescue at sea is remembered today as the man who survived the ordeal thanks the Coast Guard personnel who saved his life. This Coast Guard team searched an area larger than 75 miles, and because they didn't give up, this story has a happy ending.
This is the whistle that saved Joe Bluestein's life. That whistle and these Coast Guardsmen. The rescue happened last September on a trip back from Santa Barbara Island. Bluestein went to the back of the boat to clean fish and fell over the side. His older brother Igor was at the helm and didn't see him fall in the water. The boat kept going.
Everybody goes to sleep when I drive back.
and he just got up and decided to clean the fish.
Bluestein spent nearly 7 hours fighting for his life in the frigid ocean water.
I didn't realize that I had it in me to survive that long.
It wasn't until Igor had docked in Marina del Rey that he realized his younger brother was gone, and he called for help. As Igor frantically headed back out to sea, Joe had seen the light from this Coast Guard boat and started whistling and yelling.
I just sprinted for that life ring like it was my last shot, you know. It was.
The rookie on board was the one who heard it.
The fact that we were able to hear him and then we were actually able to find him, it made us all feel really good.
Today, Bluestein got to hug the people who saved his life and boarded the vessel that plucked him from the ocean. In the daylight, a celebratory ride. And he says his new lease on life has changed him. He hopes others can learn from his experience.
Tell people that you love them. If you haven't, because it could be all over in a split second.
And Joe now says he celebrates his birthday on the day of that rescue and that he's made positive changes in his life, including losing 30 pounds. His brother Igor says he makes a point of stopping to help others on boats whenever he can.
Well, now to a follow-up on a story we brought you last week about some North Carolina Target employees helping a young man preparing for his first job interview. A woman snapped a picture of a 15-year-old in a black suit looking for a clip-on tie. A group of Target employees went the extra mile, getting him fixed up with a regular tie and prepping him for what to expect during his interview at a Chick-fil-A restaurant next door. Well, now we know if Yashir Moore got the job.
I think we are ready to offer you a job at Chick-fil-A of Triangle Town Center Mall.
When does he start?
As soon as he's ready.
I can start tomorrow. Any advice that you can take, grab it, because it's just a good opportunity. And these people right here help me so much. So, just be respectful of the people that try to help you out.
You're like ours now. You know that, don't you? You have more than one mother.
Could you not give him the job after all of that happened last week? Yeah. Moore's mother says she is incredibly proud, and she's grateful for the kindness of total strangers.
Aw, that is such a great ending to that story.
Yeah, drop by and say hi to him.
Yeah. An elderly woman brings a judge to tears of laughter in court. We'll show you why.
And the bra bandit strikes, and we'll tell you what authorities say this man was doing and where he got the bra from.
Plus, Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg makes a startling confession about what she was doing and what she was losing during the President's State of the Union address. take a look at the Bra Bandit. That's the nickname given to the man caught on surveillance video stealing from a pickup truck and creeping around a Coachella home early Wednesday morning. In fact, he's wearing two bras, one on his chest and one on his face, along with a skirt and women's boots to match. The clothing items, all apparently part of the stolen loot. The Bra Bandit nearly got busted, but managed to get away. He was in the truck when a patrol car drove by.
Wow.
Riverside County Sheriff's deputies are on the case.
Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg is coming clean about why she nodded off during last month's State of the Union address. As you could see, Justice Ginsburg with her head noticeably down right in the front row. And last night during a panel discussion, she explained that she and the other justices had gone out to dinner before the address, and then this happened.
And I vowed this year, just sparkling water, stay away from the wine, but in the end, the dinner was so delicious it needed wine to accompany.
Justice Ginsburg says it was one of her granddaughters who called the incident to her attention.
A bond hearing is usually a very serious business for the judge and everyone involved, but here's one that turned a Florida courtroom into a comedy club. 80-year-old Dolores Shyness was so feisty she had everyone in stitches, even the judge.
How have I done as a judge today? So far, how am I doing?
Not bad, but you could do better.
I got to tell you, you brightened my day, ma'am. All right?
That's what the last guy said, and then he sued me.
Shyness was charged with resisting arrest and violating an order to stay away from her ex-husband. She says she swears on a stack of Bibles she won't bother him anymore, but the judge still ordered her to wear an ankle monitor to make sure she complies.
Wow.
I love watching that one.
Yeah, she's a funny one, isn't she? We are updating the evening's top stories next at 7:30, including a stubborn house fire in Encino.
And a local lawmaker comes under fire for a controversial tweet about Islam. What she's saying about it today.
And a grandfather is slammed to the ground by a police officer. It's caught on camera. Now that man is partially paralyzed. Why investigators believe he didn't follow officers' directions.
This is Eyewitness News on LA56 with live breaking news.
Our top story at 7:30, breaking news in San Bernardino, a major traffic backup on the northbound 215 freeway after police shoot a suspect at the end of a wild chase. I'm Rutabe Shabazi.
I'm David Ona. This is Eyewitness News on LA56, LA's only live local newscast at 7 p.m. This all started with a report of a stolen car. GPS tracking helped police find it on a city street just before 2 o'clock, but they say the driver took off, leading them on a chase on the northbound 215 freeway. Police say he rammed their car several times and was accelerating toward them again when they opened fire, killing him. There's no word on the identity of the suspect. He died at the scene. No officers were hurt.
And firefighters battling a major house fire in Encino. The house is located in the area of Densmore Avenue and Magnolia on the south side of the 101 freeway. 2 people who got out of the house were treated by firefighters. One of them is an elderly woman. Crews are expecting to knock down the fire shortly. They're now taking an offensive stand, trying to prevent it from spreading to nearby buildings.
Assemblywoman Melissa Melendez is facing major backlash for her controversial tweet against Islam, but she is not apologizing. Inland Empire Bureau Chief Rob McMillan has reaction from the local Islamic community.
As afternoon prayers ended at the Islamic Center of the Inland Empire in Rancho Cucamonga, a lot of people sounded off, frustrated over a tweet sent 3 days ago by a state assemblywoman saying, quote, gut-wrenching news today, American Kayla Mueller murdered by Islamic savages. There must be consequences. Hashtag stand up against Islam.
I don't believe ISIS is Islam. ISIS is a radical group of terrorists. It would be insulting to any group, you know what I'm saying? Just like, you know, KKK Christians don't really associate with them.
People we spoke with here are frustrated by the wording of the hashtag stand up against Islam.
If it would have been stand up to radicalism, that would have made it a lot better, a lot I guess even like more appropriate, more accurate.
For those who are trying to make a political issue out of this, that's very disappointing.
This is the person who sent the tweet, State Assemblywoman Melissa Melendez, who represents Southwest Riverside County.
I don't regret sending it. Maybe we could have used a different hashtag. We may have been able to do that. But again, when you read the tweet, it's about Kayla.
The Council on American Islamic Relations is also responding to the tweet.
Hate rhetoric such as this can and does lead to hate crimes and dehumanizes a whole population. And I feel it's extremely insensitive to say something like this about a faith of 1.6 billion people.
I feel bad if any of our Muslim community who also with me condemns ISIS and the Taliban and Al-Qaeda. I feel bad that they may have thought that I was including them, because I certainly was not.
In Rancho Cucamonga, Rob McMillan, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
We now know the names of 2 men shot in the head, execution style in Montclair. One of the victims is 34-year-old Mario Padilla. The other is 33-year-old Arturo Sanchez. Authorities found the 2 victims tied up with apparent bullet wounds to the head on Sunday. Eyewitnesses told police there was a 3rd victim who escaped. He still hasn't been found. No word on any suspects, but the investigation is ongoing. The hunt to find the killer of an elderly Laverne couple led investigators to the streets of Pomona today. They distributed flyers with composite drawings of the man detectives think may have been involved. Shirley and Army Isom were discovered in their home the day after Christmas. Investigators say the elderly couple was beaten and stabbed to death, and weeks later they still aren't sure why.
An Alabama police officer faces assault charges and will be fired after an incident that left a man severely injured. The department released this dash cam video.
Stop walking. Stop walking. Do you have any ID on? No English. No ID. What's your name?
He's saying no English. He doesn't understand.
Relax.
Stop! Trying to jerk away from me.
You can see an officer slam 57-year-old Suresh Bey Patel to the ground. He's from India, and he was in the neighborhood to visit his son and his grandson, and now he's in a hospital and is partially paralyzed.
After police told him to stop, he stopped, and he was telling them no English, Indian, and he was telling them in English house number and pointing towards the house.
Patel says his father had to undergo surgery to fuse 2 vertebrae in his spine. The police chief says Patel committed no crime and that the officer involved will be dismissed.
New evidence and testimony in the American Sniper trial shed light on the mental state of the man accused of killing author Chris Kyle and his friend Chad Littlefield. Photos were presented of Eddie Routh's apartment. A Texas Ranger testified that authorities found marijuana, a nearly empty bottle of whiskey, and an antipsychotic drug. Routh's uncle also testified, saying his nephew showed him a gun and a pickup truck that apparently belonged to Kyle. Kyle and Littlefield were shot multiple times at a Texas firing range in February of 2013. Kyle's memoir detailing his 4 tours in Iraq inspired the Oscar-nominated film American Sniper.
Turning now to Iraq and a brazen attack by ISIS as terrorists attempt to sneak onto a massive airbase in disguise. Hundreds of U.S. Marines were on the premises. ABC's Martha Raddatz has the details.
Today, on a sprawling Iraqi military base where hundreds of American troops are stationed, the largest coordinated assault on the base since the battle against ISIS began. 20 to 25 ISIS fighters attempting to breach the perimeter, most if not all wearing stolen Iraqi army uniforms. The first wave wearing suicide vests, some detonating as other fighters followed.
They certainly did get to the perimeter of the base. They were immediately engaged.
Iraqi forces then fighting off the attackers, killing most, and securing the base where those 400 American troops train Iraqi forces.
At no time were U.S. troops anywhere near the fighting. They might have heard shots being fired, but that would have been about it.
The assault comes after days of fierce fighting in a nearby town.
This is arguably the first in at least a couple of months, if not more, where they have had any success at all at taking any new ground.
There are now 2,500 U.S. troops on the ground in Iraq, which will likely increase to 3,100 in this battle against an enemy who is far from defeated. Martha Raddatz, ABC News, Amman, Jordan.
Ahead on Eyewitness News, the Broadway version of Frozen will get some help from some familiar faces.
So to come, who's on board for the new musical venture?
And if you need something to do this holiday weekend, why not see a movie? We'll run down what's new in theaters.
Love is in the air tomorrow, but so will too be the heat. The temperature's soaring into the 90s today, maybe again tomorrow. I'll tell you about that coming up in that 70 forecast today.
The creative team behind the Oscar-winning movie Frozen will warm things up for the Broadway version. Screenwriter and co-director Jennifer Lee is on board to write the musical, and the Best Song Oscar winners Robert Lopez and Kristen Anderson Lopez will write some additional tunes to go along with their songs from the movie. No date has been announced yet for the show.
Two big movies will battle for your box office bucks this weekend.
One is clearly geared toward women, and the other an action-filled shoot-'em-up that's dedicated more towards a male audience. Entertainment guru George Pinocchio runs down what's new in theaters.
My tastes are very singular. You wouldn't understand.
Enlighten me then.
Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson star in the adaptation of the E.L. James best-selling erotic novel 50 Shades of Grey. The story focuses on a naive young woman who falls under the spell of a sexually kinky and very controlling billionaire. Dornan knows there's a lot riding on this film due to the 100 million copies of the book that have been sold.
No, the fans, I mean, it means so much in this book. It's transcended like so many other books in terms of what it means to fans and how attached they are to these characters, you know. So we felt that we really just had to try to honor that as much as we could, but also, you know, try to make a great picture. I mean, that's essentially, want to make a great movie, but also to please all the fans, and I think we've done that. You know.
Not surprisingly, the film is rated R.
I've never met a tailor before. I know you ain't one.
The weekend's other wide release is Kingsman: The Secret Service. It's based on a comic book about a super-secret spy organization. Colin Firth stars as a veteran agent who recruits a young upstart.
What does this do? Electrocute you?
Don't be ridiculous. It's a hand grenade.
Shut up. That is sick.
They've got to work fast because there's a diabolical villain on the horizon who's set on nothing less than world domination.
Mankind is the virus, and I'm the cure.
Samuel L. Jackson plays the bad guy in this R-rated action adventure.
I've got a singular impression things are moving too fast.
Pretty good, right?
I've never been more attracted to you.
Also new and in limited release, the screen adaptation of the off-Broadway musical The Last 5 Years. Jeremy Jordan and Anna Kendrick star as a couple looking at their failed marriage through song. George Pinocchio, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Well, with Valentine's Day tomorrow, many singles are busy looking for dates.
And Metro is helping. Up next, finding a possible love match on a train.
Plus, Palmdale native Paul George could be getting set for a return to the hardwood. Coming up at Sports, we'll update his potential comeback. Authorized. One has gone. The Force is with the next crew of the International Space Station. 6 crew members recently donned Jedi robes for a Star Wars-themed poster. It's all part of the NASA tradition of space station crews posing for movie poster mock-ups. This crew heads to the International Space Station later this year. 2 crew members are expected to stay aboard the station for a full year.
They're fun. They always do fun stuff like that.
Ooh.
So, Jonathan, speaking of atmosphere and space and weather.
Space?
Well, we can throw that in. Same category, right?
Yeah,
kind of.
Right here.
Science.
Always in space. We've got Valentine's Day tomorrow. Yeah.
It's going to be warm, beach weather?
Excited. Yes, it is going to be very warm. We had 90s today. We tied a record. We broke a record. Long Beach, you broke a record. And temperatures tomorrow, I don't think we're going to get there, but it's going to be really warm in the upper 80s from some spots, and some spots in the mid-80s. But it's even with the cool down we're having this weekend, it's going to be really unseasonably warm. And that's a time-lapse right there from Malibu. Let's check in what's happening with the almanac from today. 88 was our high in downtown. Normally, we are 69 degrees. So about 20 degrees warmer than we normally would be for this time of year. Just unreal. And the East Coast is still reeling from the snow, and they've got more snow this weekend. In the meantime, we've got 70 in downtown here in Southern California. 67 Oxnard. Your current temperature, Van Nuys, is 74. Victorville, 57. You want to cool off, head to Big Bear, 37. And if you want to warm back up, you head over to Palm Springs at 75. So we got high pressure in control. That's what this arc is in the atmosphere right here. And that's going to weaken over the weekend a little bit, and then a little bit more on Sunday and into Monday. It's not going to change the temperatures all that much in the next couple of days. I'd say by Tuesday we start seeing temperatures dip even more, closer to average. But in general, it's more of the same. It's not record-breaking stuff. But here on Saturday, you'll see that ridge break down. What I mean is you'll see that arc in the atmosphere, what you did have, flatten out. But what you have on Sunday into Monday is another ridge setting up here just west of us. So with that in mind, temperatures will pretty much hang above average by anywhere from 10 to 12 degrees for Saturday, Sunday, and even into Monday. For tomorrow, we'll go with 84 in Los Angeles. If you remember, just a second ago, I showed you that almanac, and our normal high is 69, so we're still well above that. Mid-80s in the IE, you got 75 Apple Valley, 60 Big Bear, and 83 Oceanside. Woo! All right, Valentine's Day heating up, 84, 81 on Sunday, and then a little bit cooler from Monday on, upper 70s. 76 Thursday, next Friday 74, maybe a little bit of moisture moving in. What we need is a system, storm system to come in from the west, at least give us an onshore flow, at least bring some moisture in from the ocean, and that's not going to happen anytime soon. So mid-80s for the valleys and IE, pretty much through Wednesday, maybe some lower 80s there by Monday, Tuesday. But the beaches are just fantastic. If you got plans to head out to the beach tomorrow with the loved one, that looks like a good plan. Upper 60s from Monday on, and then a very mild forecast for the mountains. 60 for a few days and into the 50s next Wednesday, Thursday. Hardly a cloud out there. The high desert looking like it's just picture perfect, which is not picture perfect for February because we would like to have some winter weather, but not this go around, guys. Enjoy your Valentine's Day, and we'll see you soon.
We will. Thank you, Jonathan. Spring training is less than a week away. The start of the baseball season less than 2 months away, and still no deal in sight between Time Warner Cable and major TV providers. Today, Mayor Garcetti sounded off on the situation to our Adrian Alpert on Eyewitness Newsmakers.
I continue to call on both Time Warner and the other carriers to work this out. This is an outrage. You know, it's tough enough that people can't afford to go to many professional sports games anymore. It used to be something you could take a family to. There's still some affordable Dodgers tickets at Dodger Stadium. But now that we can't watch for free at all, and then if you don't have the right pay channel, you can't watch.
And that's what more than half the market can't.
Absolutely. And, you know, to me, that's almost undemocratic. And I think it's going to be, it was a miscalculation on both parts, you know, of Time Warner and the other carriers. And they have to know that we are so outraged in this city.
Seriously, so many angry people on that topic. And you can see the rest of Mayor Garcetti's interview on Eyewitness Newsmakers Sunday morning, 11 o'clock on ABC7. After a final day of preparation, the Dodgers are set to hit Camelback Ranch in Glendale, Arizona for spring training. Believe it or not, pitchers and catchers are set to report in less than a week from now. The Dodgers trucks made their way from Chavez Ravine today and hit the road for the desert. All players are required to report on February 25th for the first spring training game set for March 4th. NBA now. Paul George may be back in the Indiana Pacers lineup by mid-March. If you remember, the Palmdale native suffered a compound fracture in a Las Vegas Team USA scrimmage in August and was expected to miss the entire 2015 season. And less than 2 weeks ago, Pacers President Larry Bird said the 24-year-old would not be on the court this year without clearance from team doctors. The Night High alum seems to have cleared that hurdle and could be back in the lineup as soon as March 14th. The Patriots are currently just 2 games out of a playoff spot. All-Star Weekend getting off to a fun start with Celebrity Game, and Monet Davis from the Little League World Series showing off her hoop skills with a nice spin move and drive to the cup on Kevin Hart. And take another look. The 12-year-old may just get her dream of playing point for UConn. By the way, Kevin Hart, he's a great player. He took home the game's MVP 4th year in a row now, but he couldn't help his team get the win, as the West held on late to take home the win, 57-51 final for the West Stars.
Well, just one day before Valentine's Day, Singles Road, LA Metro's Red Line, hoping to make a love connection. Eyewitness News reporter Rob Hayes hopped aboard for the 2nd annual speed dating event, complete with some celebrity cupids.
Let's face it, there are certain things we all associate with Valentine's Day. Red roses, red candy, and red heart-shaped balloons. But the Metro Red Line? Well, it's making a run at it.
Metro speed dating.
This is actually the 2nd annual Metro Speed Dating event, a concept which consists of 2 things.
Speed dating on a train.
A train adorned with Valentine decorations and packed with potential pairings.
Metro is all about making connections.
And on this eve of Valentine's Day, love connections are the goal.
Looking for love on the subway, so.
Those interested in speed dating signed up at the station, picked up a wristband, and boarded the Metromantic train.
Welcome to the Love Wagon. If I had my way, MTA would do this every quarter because Los Angeles is a very lonely city.
I'm not exactly looking for love, but I'm thinking of a friend because that comes first, and then maybe she'll become my love.
A sure thing if these 2 have their way.
We're the Metro Cupids. Our job is to help people find love on the Metro.
And they got plenty of help from the Clippers cheerleaders, a Harlem Globetrotter, and some hip-hop Wizard of Oz characters. Turns out riders aren't the only ones looking for romance, though. Metro is hoping their speed dating train will help them woo more customers.
We want people to see Metro in a brand new way, maybe fall in love with the subway a little bit, and maybe if you find someone on Metro, you guys can ride together every day.
A pre-Valentine's Day matchmaking excursion looking to put riders on the fast track to love.
Any ladies out there? Hey, I'm available.
In downtown LA, Rob Hayes, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Looks like a wild and crazy ride.
Thursday.
More news straight ahead here at 7:30, and new tonight on Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7. They were looking for love in all the wrong places. Men answering online ads got beaten and robbed instead. And it's one of the hottest fashion accessories around, how these trendy bracelets are supporting an entire town in Costa Rica. These stories and all the late-breaking news on Southern California's #1 newscast, Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7.
There it goes.
One of the owners of the pier in Rodanthe, North Carolina, said goodbye to part of the pier. Recent rough weather had left it in bad shape. This morning, owners decided to cut off the end of the pier with a chainsaw. The rest of the pier is still in decent condition. Folks in that community would like to rebuild it. The pier was purchased out of foreclosure 2 years ago, and it's not scheduled to reopen until late March.
Police found a crate of 8 puppies while investigating a burglary in a vacant building in Brooklyn, New York. They were found in the top floor bedroom. The puppies were all dressed in sweaters. Officers took them to the ASPCA, the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, where workers took care of them for the next 3 days. The dogs have been medically cleared and will be put up for adoption. There's still no word on how those dogs got into the building.
They are cute. A woman who claims to have one of the 3 winning tickets in the $564 million Powerball lottery jackpot came forward today, but her lawyer says she's waiting to claim her prize. Her family and friends reacted to the win.
We rich! We rich! Woo!
26-year-old Marie Holmes recently quit her 2 jobs at Walmart and McDonald's in North Carolina to care for her 4 children, one of whom has cerebral palsy. Holmes says the realization of suddenly becoming a multimillionaire hasn't sunk in yet.
I don't know if I want to cry. Smile would, like, I'm just grateful for this moment.
Meanwhile, lottery officials say they can't confirm Holmes is a winner until she brings the ticket to lottery headquarters. The other 2 winning tickets were bought in Texas and Puerto Rico. Winners have 180 days to claim their prize.
I would bring that ticket in immediately.
I know. What's she waiting for?
Yeah, what if something happens to it? It gets flushed down the toilet, catches on fire.
Someone steals it.
Yeah, you lose it. Boy, that'd be tragic. Yeah. Thanks for joining us for Eyewitness News at 7:30 on LA56. Law and Order SVU is coming up next.
Eyewitness News continues at 11 p.m. on ABC7 and anytime on ABC7.com.
Have a good night.